long-term penny pinching. Because when I made that comment about they used to have 5 times redundancy on anything, I will bet parts of my anatomy I have no desire to lose that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, look, it's hard to say what's going on inside the Telstra network themselves.
Like I said, I'll bet that's not happening anymore.
And you can come to your own conclusions as to what's going on. And look, I don't envy their job. They are running the largest network in Australia.
Yeah, but they're also getting the financial benefits of doing so. I mean, let's keep this in perspective.
Yeah, no, there is certainly something going on there, and Telstra really, I am absolutely sure there is a lot of soul searching going on and a lot of inward looking that's happening right now.
This is becoming embarrassing.
I'm sure it is.
And all it says is that, well, you might as well go with someone else.
Well, that's a lot of the sentiment I've been seeing on social media today. So I was, the outage happened as I was looking at my phone and I saw it happen before my eyes. Yeah. And then I went to the good old website, AussieOutages.com.
And it just explodes with information.
And it just keeps on going. And there were like a few hundred reports. And I thought, gee, that's not great. And then it went to thousands of reports. And then it got to 15,000 reports within a short time frame, and it just spiked. It just went straight up, and it was actually really concerning to see this happen. But
what's even more concerning is when they say, "Oh, we don't know what was wrong." Well, listen, for the amount of technical expertise you have, Mr. Telstra, you absolutely have to know what it was. Why don't you at least come out and say we're not prepared to say what it was? Rather than say we don't know what it was, because actually that makes you look even more incompetent.
Well, look, it's one of these things they're going to have to investigate and find out exactly where it went wrong. Sometimes it's something that's really obvious. So like when lightning strikes a pit and you can say, yep, that's the thing.
The last time that happened, there wasn't any lightning in the area. That was an oops moment.
Well, the one from a couple of weeks ago?
That was an oops moment. There was a suggestion there wasn't any lightning around at the time.
I don't know. It looked like something hit the ground.
Oh, something may well have hit the ground, but I'm just saying. There was certainly a question as to whether there was a thunderstorm. Something might have hit the ground, but I don't know.
Something exploded. And the way the whole network was affected, it really looked like lightning to me.
Ben, doesn't that tell you something? Now, what's wrong with this picture? You are a technical man.
Yep.
All right. Now, I want you for a moment to imagine that I'm some goose in a suit at Telstra, all right? And you've just walked in and told me that Thor has just walloped a cable in Sydney and suddenly the whole country has got technical issues.
All right.
Right. Now, my first and foremost reply to that would be, how the hell can we have one cable hit in Sydney and compromise the whole damn network?
Okay, well, this is the nature of lightning strikes. And I covered this a couple of weeks ago when the boys in the morning gave me a call. And the nature of lightning and the way it affects electronics, it's really, really hard to predict. And it's really hard to say, okay, lightning hits there, it's just going to take out that cable. That's not quite the case. So something as random as lightning, it is likely to hit a cable.
So it's going to take something out on the other side of the country?
Yeah, absolutely. It can
well, then
totally
they need to do something better to, they need to get better lightning arresters, don't they?
Look,
Mate, the old telecom
you cannot tell
network,
lightning where to go. You cannot do it.
But you can control it to a certain extent when it hits.
Good luck with that one too.
Well, radio stations do it all the time. I mean, how often do you think our transmitter antenna at Belmont gets hit?
Yeah, and also you're talking about one transmitter that's pretty robust.
Well, what about all the equipment that their system has to go through? That would be equally as robust. Yeah. And here's the point. I do not accept that lightning on the other side of the country can knock the whole network out. If it can, then they need to redesign the network. Because if lightning could do that, then something else could do that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of redesigning going on as we speak anyway. So it is a work in progress. Yes, I believe that some parts should be completed and should be bulletproof. And that's what the expectation is.
That should always be a factor. I mean, you know, you have the ludicrous. I'll tell you something right now. 40 years ago, right, with the old crossbar exchanges that the old telecom used to use, I can assure you right now, a lightning strike in Sydney would not have had any impact outside of Sydney.
Yeah, and you're probably right there.
I mean, we're supposed to be going forward technologically, not creating this scenario where we have all this wonderful technology that's one lightning strike away from being toast.
Yeah. Well, look, things do have to improve. The expectation is there on Telstra and their competitors to make sure that their network is robust and handles and is available. High availability is a must.
Whether by good luck or good design, their competitors so far have managed to avoid any problems.
Steve Price tests the new Hyundai Sonata.
To 6PR. This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
92211882, the telephone number. Ben Aylett from Easy Wireless is with us, as he is each and every Monday.
Yes.
If you'd like to pick his technical brain, 92211882.
Yeah, please call in.
And his website, benaylett.com. Speaking of Ben's, here is Ben.
It is Ben. G'day, Ben. How are you?
How's things?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I just wanted to say that I've been with Vodafone now for more years than I care to think about. I made a decision many, many years ago I wouldn't use Telstra on principle.
Yep.
And, you know, it really baffles me how I understand how there can always be things that can go wrong in a business.
Mm-hmm.
But quite frankly, when I'm the customer and you're charging me based on advertising that you provide the biggest, most reliable network in the country, then that's what I damn well expect.
That's right.
And I think it's quite pitiful that that Telstra has these. A, they have the outages. B, they have the excuses. I don't want to hear it. In 10 or 15 years I've been with Vodafone, the only time I've ever not been able to access the network was 1 month when I admitted to pay the bill.
Okay.
Yeah, that tends to do it.
That stops it cold. Look, I appreciate what you're saying, and there is that that expectation that when you pay for a service, you should be getting it without interruption. It should be 100% because you're paying 100% of the time, and you know that's fair. So, look, I understand where a lot of people are coming from, and Telstra's having a rough time.
For me, it's not even so much, I pay for the service I expected. I understand, I'm not unrealistic to think that sometimes things don't go wrong.
Yeah.
But when you promote and advertise yourself as having the biggest and most reliable network, then you best live up to that.
Yep.
Because otherwise you're going to look rather silly when you're second or third rate.
Yeah. No, you got a good point there. The other thing is too, Telstra has not been cheap by phone company standards. And one of the reasons for justifying that was, hey, you're getting something that's cut above. You know, they basically argue that they're the
top tier,
the BMW or the Mercedes of the telephone world. So you kind of say, well, okay, you accept that we're a premium product, so you're prepared to pay a bit more for it. Well, if you don't end up delivering, then all of a sudden you've got a problem, haven't you?
There's going to be questions asked for sure, yes.
Yeah, which is never a good thing when that happens.
Yep.
922 is our telephone number. Of course, there is the other issue about people doing business. How much does it cost them?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another pain point there. So it is really important to have a good service, but I think it also illustrates to people in business that you can't really rely on one provider, even though it would, in an ideal world, it should happen. We should be able to call on a single provider and there we go.
No, you should be able to choose whichever provider you want. They should be reliable.
They should be reliable, but...
And if they're not going to be reliable, then what they should do is take their licence to operate and take up spectrum away from them and give it to people who will be.
Oh, well.
G'day, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Chris. Look, we were badly affected today with the Telstra outage, but I was talking to a friend who was in a very big petrol station down towards Mandurah.
Oh, yeah.
And he said there were over 30 people there that could not afford to pay for fuel.
Oh.
They couldn't pay for their fuel because of EFTPOS. And they were tradies, and you can imagine people had to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And they couldn't go anywhere. Now, it's not going to be long before some people like Slater and Gordon get some huge class action going against Telstra because small businesses are losing a shed load of money.
Yeah, but not only that, Jackie, this goes one step further. Bearing in mind that people like that are also being slugged. Actually, I would say they're almost being raped by the banks for their EFTPOS charges.
Yeah.
You've got a double whammy. You've got a data link that is not 100% reliable and can place people in the position where they're unable to pay for goods and services that they can pay for. In other words, they have the funds for them.
Yep.
The second thing is that you're creating the circumstances whereby you forced those customers to use those services and those services are not available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that class action against the bank that big law firm took, it's only a matter of time where Telstra are going to go, because we didn't lose much business today because we're in a small business that we got round it. But there would have been huge losses in businesses today. I had internet 1 minute, sent 5 emails. They sat in my outbox for 5 hours. I had mobile phone for half an hour. Then I didn't have it for an hour. Then I had it for 5 minutes.
Yep.
It's just so how that would affect a big multifaceted business is unbelievable.
Yeah. No,
and we tried other networks, but we sell real estate in the countries, and once we went past Armidale, we didn't have coverage. So we had to go back to Telstra. So it's a case of, we have to go there. We hate it.
Yep.
And then it costs us money.
Yep, I'll take your point, Jackie. And there's another problem Telstra's got. So you've got Jackie with her business.
Yes.
Saying, well, okay, we do business in rural areas.
Yep.
So we are with Telstra because we have to be.
Yes.
But we hate you, Telstra. I mean, really? Is that how you want to do business? That these people are with you because you are not being with you because of the nature of where they have to do business is not an option.
Yes.
In other words, if Jackie was only doing business in the city, Telstra would be yesterday's news as far as she's concerned. They've got a serious problem, mate, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
G'day, James.
G'day, Chris and Ben. How you going?
Very well, James. What's up, mate?
3 quick points. One on Telstra. I hate Telstra too, but I stick with Telstra because the other ones aren't reliable, and I need a reliable phone in case something goes wrong with mum, etc., etc.
And how would that have worked for you today, James?
Sorry?
How would that have worked for you today when the phones were down?
Oh, I didn't even know the phones were down. I must have been on another planet for today.
Blissfully unaware with a nice quiet phone.
Well, that's all right if you're blissfully unaware.
Yeah, I was. Anyway, number 2.
Yep.
I've got a problem with my computer, Ben.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine gave me a second-hand one. So basically, he set it up, and what it does is when I switch it off at the start key and it says shut down,
Yeah.
I shut it down and it shuts down, and then a second later it reboots itself.
Okay.
Is that hardware or software? Without
I was going to say, it doesn't turn around and say, "You will never silence me."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's been a long time since I've seen a computer that's haunted. I think has happened.
So we can rule that out?
We might be able to rule that out. Is this a laptop or a desktop computer?
Desktop.
It's a desktop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I would, if you can, shut it down, but I'd also pull it out of the wall and then give the power button on the front of the computer just a few pushes, just to see if you can loosen it up a bit. This is one of the most common causes of computers doing weird things with power, is when the power button sticks or shorts out. And obviously the quickest way to fix it is to just give that power button a bit of a rattle. While you're at it, you can also grab the keyboard. This is one of my favourite moves, is when you grab your elbow and you drag it across a keyboard backwards and forwards, and it rattles all the keys loose. And that is a good way to make sure those keys are unstuck.
Good stuff. Thanks very much for that, James. By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 92211 882 our number.
What is your word on the...
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Ben Aylett here talking technology. BenAylett.com is the website. Of course, Ben's from Easy Wireless. And by the way, on his website, you'll find all of his contact information. G'day, Glenn.
Oh, g'day, young Christopher. G'day, Ben.
G'day, Glenn.
We see so many different services and so many different products that Telstra are offering us.
Mm-hmm.
How about offering us this one? How much extra would it cost on my phone bill or my service bill to deal with somebody in Australia who is Australian handling my complaints? Because I am absolutely sick to death with dealing with people in the Philippines who don't even have a clock on their wall that relates to Western Standard Time or Eastern Standard Time. Because when you've got a complaint with the telecommunications industry ombudsman, they have got a statutory requirement to answer that complaint within 3 days or 4 days or what it might be.
Yep.
However, in answering or replying, they will reply to you at some God knows wacko hour of the early morning or late at night.
Oh, yeah.
And give you a contact number that you ring continuously and get no response, but yet they've got evidential proof that they have attempted to contact you 3 or 4 times, they've met their legal requirement, and it goes on and on and on.
And you've got a very good point there, Glenn, because, of course, what they don't measure in all of that is what I term the bad will that goes with it. When customers are irritated and people go, well, guess what? I think I'll go somewhere else. Your point's well made, Glenn. And look, I have to admit, for a long time, I've always been of the opinion these overseas call centres are actually really bad for business. Look, I know that you can hire people for 30 cents and company tokens in these countries and get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's appallingly bad business practice. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a real worry with the overseas call centres. They do have a big impact on the business.
Yeah, and the people you're talking to, Ben, have no clue about what half of these people in these call centres in the Philippines, they live in shanty towns in Manila.
Yeah.
They haven't got a clue. They have no mental concept. I mean, even in the old days when you talk to somebody from Launceston or somewhere like that, they had no idea about Australia.
Yeah.
You know, A, they could talk to you, B, they had the same accent as you, and C, when you talked about things in the Australian parlance, they understood what you're talking about. Talk to people in the Philippines, they haven't even got a concept. And that's where you got a problem because you've got a cultural barrier as well as a linguistic one.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Julie.
Oh, hello. Thanks for your interesting program. Just a friend of mine was walking down his street today and he noticed one of those pits in the ground that normally Telstra men operate in and it had Optus on it.
Mm-hmm.
Do different companies have different pits in the road?
Absolutely. I'd imagine so, yes. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll pass that on. Thank you so much.
No worries, Julie. It's a very good question, though. You don't often think about that. G'day, Jared.
Fellas, how are you doing?
Good.
Very well, Jared. How's things, mate?
Mate, I've called you many times before, Ben. You know how I am. Post numbers.
Yes.
We've had a major complaint with TIO, and it's still going on, and it's reaching nearly 12 months now. Now, we haven't had our major phone number, and Chris, if you remember, we talked a fair while ago, you said about a security company, if they didn't have this number, it would be a complete joke. Now, we still haven't had our number for near on 12 months. Now, we've changed ISPs now, but our previous ISP doesn't want to change our phone lines over to Optus, which we now use. And
well, they don't have any option. They have to do it.
No, mate, they don't. You know, they're jacking us around so much, it's unbelievable. But my point is with post numbers, Optus has told us that, cut a long story short, with the NBN now, if you want 2 lines with the smart system that we thought would help our business, is that our main number will be logged on the system, but when you call out, you will have a post number, which is a different number. And I've argued with them so many times that they've said no. So consequently, i.e., my number is 94181111. If I ring out, my number could be 94187929.
Which is what's going to display on somebody's phone. You want your main number to display.
That's right.
Jared, we haven't got time to go through this here. Send me an email, will you? Because I think what we might do, Ben, from this end, we might start lighting a few fuses on a few fireworks and irritating a few people.
We may have to start down the name and shame path, maybe?
I think so.
Okay.
So just send us the information, Jared, to see if we can get somebody moving. Hello, Val.
Hi. As I turned on the radio, I got the chap that was complaining about Telstra with people talking that the accent, you can't understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And I rang because from halfway through April until 3 days ago, I didn't have a house phone or internet.
Oh,
and I got a bill in, and it was $9 more than I've ever had a bill. And I didn't have it on.
Oh, that's wonderful. You get charged $9 more for a service you don't even have.
That's it. So I rang, and I got this Filipino, I presume he was. Now, I'm not racist, not a bit, but I do like them to be able to speak English I can understand.
Yeah, you like people
know
to
your
understand.
customer, basically.
Yeah.
Now, I'm 81 years old. My phone is my lifeline.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only way I can get to my children if something goes wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm incapacitated, and so my daughter rang them, and because I said to her to go.
Did they get it sorted?
2 days ago.
Unbelievable. It's taken. Thank you, Val. It's taken all that. See, this is just ridiculous. I mean, there used to be a time if you rang and reported your phone crook, they'd have it fixed within a day.
Yeah, you'd be talking.
And if they
to a
didn't
local
get it
office
fixed
too.
within 2 days, somebody would be coming around to apologise. I mean, you know, the old telecom, people used to criticise that, but I'll tell you what, in many respects, its service was vastly superior.
That's right.
And just quickly, we've got time to have a chat to Richard.
Hello.
Hello, Rich.
Sam, I want you to, I want to tell you, my son thinks that I'm nuts for having a home phone. I've got a VoIP phone I'm talking on right now.
Yep.
And I try to explain to him that a VoIP phone has different codecs as cell phones, which you call mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
We have twice the bandwidth on one of these phones and better sample, what they call bit depth. And so there's no comparison. The other day I heard the tail end of the delay after I got off talking to John Lewis. I could barely understand myself on a mobile
cell phone.
phone.
Yeah.
I'd just like to hear your comment on that.
Well, look, VoIP technology is, as far as sound quality goes, it is much better than cellular phones. I do agree with you on that one, Rich. That is definitely right. Yep.
Good stuff. Time has eluded us, Rich, but it's always a pleasure to hear from you. And you too, Ben.
It's always good.
We'll do it next week. By the way, don't forget, benaylett.com is the website. 1 L, 2 T's in Aylett. And all the contact information is there.
At IGA, you'll find low price.